All right, boom, blast off Ben Parker of CardinalSportsReport.com. CardinalSportsReport.com. Ben Parker here with Stanford running backs coach Malcolm Agnew. So first of all, just talk about your running back room, springtime. How's it looking so far for you holistically?
Yeah, what's interesting about this room is this is going in year 4 for me on the farm. Thankful to be here, but like a lot of these guys have been around for a while now, so they kind of know my expectations. They kind of know how I want to do things. And so we're trying to continue to refine that process and put those guys in the best position to succeed, right, within the new scheme that we have. So, it's been good. I think it's good to have something fresh for those guys so it doesn't become mundane. They kind of understand how things are. It's a good group. It's a veteran group. It's amazing how fast it goes. This is Sed's 4th year, Champ's 4th year. Mike and CD's 3rd year, and this is Tuna's 6th year in college. So it's like I remember I recruited Tuna back in the day. So, it's amazing how fast it goes, but it's good to have a veteran group that kind of knows the expectations of what we look for.
Yeah, and obviously with Cole Tabb kind of leaving, how does that kind of shift the room with his departure?
Yeah, Cole. We wish Cole the best. He'll do a good job at Cincinnati, and Cole's a good kid. How does it shift things? Just next man up. All these guys are ready. Like the fall camp competition last year was tight. Like it was really tight. These guys will be ready to go. I think they're excited. They're ready to elevate, continue to get better, and I'm excited to see those guys continue to play the game the right way. Which something we've talked about from the day they all got on campus. So these guys will be fine. They'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and talk about kind of Michael Ford. Obviously, had a huge year last year, and could be in line for a real breakout year this year. Mm-hmm. Where have you kind of in this early part of the kind of winter, spring process seen improvements in his game, or what have you most emphasizing with him?
Yeah, first off, his leadership. His leadership's grown a lot. Like he's using his voice more. He knows he's a rising junior, so he's a guy that's going to be looked at to do things the right way. Right, and also with that, he wants to be held accountable as much as possible. So I really appreciate that. For him, it's going to continue to refine all the things he's done well in the run game, continue to level up. Right, we talk about the price. Right, the price goes up as you continue to get better. You got to continue to rise as the price goes up. So, for him, it's just going to be continue to refine. Right, pad level is something he has to improve on. Continuing to play with a good base. Right, and pass protection and so on and so forth. So we're just going to continue to try to refine some of that stuff. But the thing I love about Micah is a learner. Micah wants to be great, and you can push him for greatness, and that's going to take him a real long way. And I'm excited for his season this year. Great player.
Another guy, Chris Davis Jr. He missed a lot of time last year due to injury, but how's he looking? And just kind of talk about kind of his growth and what he could bring this year to the room.
Yeah, CD and I have had a lot of conversations about what he needs to improve on, and so far throughout this off season, we have had time to meet. He has done a really good job of understanding, hey, I need to do this better, I need to do that better. And so I'm excited to see that on the field. I told CD, I was like, look, I believe in you. I know you're going to do a good job in the field, right? It's going to be competitive to see who plays, right, because we got a good room. But we've had a lot of conversations about what he needs to improve on, and he completely understands that. And he is ready and excited and has put in a lot of work to continue to get better. So I love CD.
So, same question on Cedric, just kind of what's he going to bring as kind of one of the older guys in the room,
Yeah, I love Cedric. The thing I appreciate about Cedric is selfless. He's a guy that probably wanted, the ball more, probably wanted to play more, didn't play as much as he wanted, but never complained, came to work every day, and does a good job of being a leader in the room, setting a tone as far as how we play the game, being enthusiastic, right, and the things you want your leader of the room to do. So, I'm excited about Cedric this year because I think he's going to have a good year just by the way he's wired, how he's going to carry himself, and the things we've talked about between me and him, which I'll keep between me and him, that are going to help him play at a higher level this year. So, again, I'm excited about all these guys, but I think Cedric's going to have a good year. I'm excited about how he's going to play. I think he's going to do really good things for us, like he has when he's had a chance to play.
Same question on Champ and Tuna. Just talk about those two guys and what they're going to.
Yeah, Champ and Tuna. Those are both guys that had some time to play last year, and when they did, they showed up and did some good things, and we need to continue to improve on that. So like with Champ, it's like, okay, hey, can we make that next guy miss and turn into an explosive play and be more consistent, right? With Tuna, right? Tuna was tracking pretty well. Got the injury bug last year. Can we get to that point and continue to improve from there? But yeah, both of those guys are really conscientious about doing a good job. They want to learn. They want to compete. And I think they both bring good balance. Two bigger backs that can play with good pad level and forward lean and make a guy miss if need be, which is good to have some size in the room. So I like those two as well.
Yeah, and what's it been like kind of getting to work under or work with Tavita Pritchard, and what's that relationship been like? What's kind of your early impressions of him as a head coach?
Yeah, I'll take it all the way back to 2023 when I first met Tavita. I've always been impressed with just how he carries himself, how he's wired, how smart he is. I think he does an unbelievable job of having intelligence with relationships, right? Knowing who people are, how they're wired, and how to coach those people and how they're wired. And so I've always had a great deal of respect for him, even back when I was with him here for the first few months and he went to the Commanders. And so you see all those same things now with him coming back to Stanford. So I'm excited to work with him. I think he's an unbelievable leader. He's really kind and genuine, and kind and genuine are things that you really value in this profession. So I'm excited about Coach Pritchard. Really, really excited about Coach Pritchard.
Final question for you, just kind of looking ahead to the rest of the spring ball period. What are you looking to kind of most kind of emphasize with your unit at this point? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot you emphasize. There's a lot you emphasize, but the biggest thing that we're trying to emphasize again, right? Coach Heff, our offensive coordinator, has set up a few different things that he wants us to do on a day-to-day basis, right? Which, a lot of that's talking about making sure you finish the right way, right? Making sure you're a good teammate, right? And there's a few other things as well. And we're trying to really refine that stuff that he's brought up and that he's bringing to the table. Just making sure we dominate the details within the scheme that we have. That's the biggest thing. If we play the game the right way, dominate the details, right? And then we let the chips fall where they may. So that's kind of really it.
Perfect. Well, thanks for taking the time, Malcolm, and best of luck rest of the spring ball period.
Yeah, go Card.